This is episode 32 of the Home and Family Culture podcast. I'm Jody Chafee. In this episode, I interviewed Lindsay Goulet of Hot Mama Health and Fitness. Welcome to the Home and Family Culture podcast, where I discuss how families can discover and design their collective vision, values, beliefs, and traditions that influence their family culture. In this podcast, I interview experts who offer tips and tools to inspire families in this process of developing their family culture, and also successful individuals whose success was influenced by their family culture growing up. Be sure to check out the show notes for this and every episode at homeandfamilyculture.com, where you can subscribe for my weekly newsletter filled with updates on the podcast and blog, as well as other tidbits of information I like to add. You can listen to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, or YouTube. Please subscribe to your favorite medium. You can also find me on social media at Family Culture Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, and at _Family Culture on Twitter. Be sure to comment, follow, like, rate, and share. But enough about all of that. Let's get to the episode. Thank you for listening. Dr. Lindsay Goulet, founder of Hot Mama Health and Fitness, a fitness franchise company dedicated to building community through family fitness. She uses her PhD in exercise physiology to motivate and inspire women to not only get active, eat well, and become healthy role models, but to also accept and love their bodies. Using the franchise system and finding incredible women to work with, Lindsay has been able to spread the word of family fitness from her home with her kids right beside her. Welcome, Lindsay. I'm so happy to have you on the podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So tell us more about what inspired you to start Hot Mama Health and Fitness.
My kids inspired me. I had a really great job before I started Hot Mama, and I traveled a lot, and that was fine when it was just my husband and I. But when I became a mom, life pivots. So I had this job, and I was given an option to keep the job. It had been moved to Ottawa, or choose to leave the organization. I kind of feel like I was on mat leave, and the whole time I was on my second mat leave, I kept thinking, I don't want to go back to this job and drop my kids off at daycare and go and do this and pick them up after 9 hours. And the whole thought was there my entire mat leave. And I thought, I have a PhD. What am I doing? And I'm a real firm believer of the universe kind of directing you. Mm-hmm. So I was brought into this meeting with a month left of my mat leave and told that my job was safe, but in Ottawa. So if I wanted to keep it, I needed to move across the country. And that wasn't an option. So I was like, all right, universe, let's do this. So I left the organization, and I love fitness. I love the energy of group exercise. I love inspiring women. I just love everything about it. So it's kind of in a dark place because you don't know really what you're going to do. And I just thought, I'm just going to run a couple classes, some fitness classes. Fitness has been a part of my life since I can remember. And so I just thought, I'm going to do what lights me up for like 2 hours a week and just hope to God I'll just have joy for those 2 hours, and I'll figure something else on the side. And so I called them Hot Mama classes. And I just thought, there was nowhere that you could go to work out that included toddlers, mobile children, lots of baby stroller size stuff, but nowhere that you could bring your kid. And my kid was 2.5, and I had a 1-year-old. And so he was like, I am not sitting in a stroller, forget it, for an hour. So I just thought, let's just open it up, bring all your kids. It's going to be mass chaos, but we'll figure it out. And we did. And so that's how Hot Mama started. It was just a pure desire for me to find joy for a couple hours a week. And then it just exploded. And after a year, I thought, holy smokes, we have a really cool, supportive, non-judgmental, wicked group of women. And I bet there's women all over this world that need something that's safe and a safe place to go to find like-minded women. And so I Googled how to franchise because I had no idea. And the rest is history. Now we have 30 franchises across Canada and one in the UK. And yeah, we're bopping along.
That is awesome. There's so much I love about that story. First, it resonates with me that when I was on my first maternity leave, I was like, I do not want to go back to work. I totally get that. And I just love so much about that resource that you're providing for moms, because it's true. We want, I think I read it on your website. They were like, everything was, you put your kids into a little daycare session and then they never see you working out. And so they see your example and they don't get to interact with you. I mean, some moms are like, yeah, that's the idea.
Like, this is my time away from my children. Yeah. Yeah.
But there are amazing benefits to having your kids right there with you. And that's definitely what we're going to be talking about in this episode, is why that's so important. And then you talked about that exercise has been a part of your life for as long as you can remember. Tell us more about that and what your coach is doing growing up.
So my mom was an aerobics instructor, like a full-on 80s aerobics instructor. And those are honestly my very first memories of my entire life. So if I go back and I try and find like where my life began, it began with my mom in aerobics gear. And so I had many jobs as her little helper. But the first job I had was to pick out her leotard. So I got to pick out her leotard and her tights, and I got to pick out the leg warmers. And she always wore what I gave her. And I'm sure it was not well matched, but she just let me do whatever. And so that was my job. And then she would take me to class because I was glued to my mother's hip. And I would sit on this big green bench, and I just remember it being like a fuzzy bench, and I would just watch these women, and my mom would instruct, and these women would dance around, and they were smiling and super happy. And then my second job was to turn the lights off at cool down, because I was very important. So I would creep over and turn the lights off so they could have their moment. And then they would work out, and my mom, not every class, but many classes, it was in a rec center, and there was the big room where they did the aerobics, and then down the hall was a bar, and they would go and have a beer. And so I always equated, like, you go and you do fitness, and then you go and you are social with your friends. And so that is always how I thought of fitness. I thought of fitness as you go, you work hard, you sweat, you have fun, and then you go and talk and chat and laugh and have fun. And so that's, for me, that's my first memories. And that's how fitness. So my whole life has been going to fitness classes, and we were really active as kids. I think my family, my parents kept us very active because it keeps us out of trouble. So, we were in swimming, and we were in rugby, and we were in all these sports as we grew up. And I think it's just been a part of who I am. So to not have fitness in my life would be very, very weird for me. Yeah. It's a habit. It's just something that's ingrained in who I am. And it is for my kids now too, because they don't know any different.
Yeah, that's exactly what your family culture and your habits, your identity was about that. And I think that's amazing. That's great that that was part of your mom's mission, personal mission probably, and that it translated to a family mission in a way. To involve you all and get you all active and yeah. So that's amazing. Thank you. It takes a lot. Now that I have my own family, it's like you realize how much effort that takes to not only make it a part of your family, but even just as moms to make it a part of your priority enough that it also translates into what your family priority. And so, because I think sometimes we get caught up in this almost martyrdom attitude of, I've got to give up my dreams and my goals so that I can it's like, but then what are you modeling for them? If you're giving up your goals and your passions and things, what are you bringing to the table anymore? You've got to have your own, lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. You got to be lit up.
Fills your cup, and so that you have something to give back. So
absolutely.
I love that. So that's basically how your mom's example influenced you to start Hot Mama Fitness, because she brought you along.
She was my role model. I looked up to her. I wanted to be like her. I wanted to be fit like her. It was never about what my body looked like. Yeah. It was just always about going out and having fun with my friends, and watching my mom do the same. So I think when I think about like how my mom role modeled for me, I'm doing the exact same role modeling for my daughter and my son. And, the cycle just continues. So that's amazing. So if I can be my daughter's hero for these first few years of her life, then fabulous. Because she'll come back and, I know she's not going to like me when she's 15, but when she's 21, she'll hopefully look back and be like, yeah, Mom, yeah, you did a great job, Mom.
I want to touch more about this idea of physical activity being self-care and your capacity as a parent. What have you noticed about your ability to exercise and stay active, and how that feeds your soul in order to turn around? What is your perspective more about that?
I think it's just, people look at fitness and exercising as something that they have to do. And that drives me crazy, because it is something that you are blessed to be able to do. Like, our bodies are incredible. And for us to poison it with crappy food and to be sedentary and to add layers of fat and to do all the things that we do, it boggles my mind that people aren't wrapping their head around the fact that your body is this gift. And so you got to take care of it, just like you're going to take care of your baby girl or your daughter or your son or the dogs or the fish or whatever. You're the one that's living in this vessel that's going to take you through and be able to take care of the dog and the fish and the daughter and the son. So I just think we have to stop thinking of it as like something else that you have to fit in. It is something else that is a priority. And if you find something you love, and it might take a while, you may not like going to a boot camp class. You may not like going to the gym. You may not like doing a whole bunch of stuff, but you got to find out what you do love and get active. It doesn't even have to be much. Like, you can just go for hikes. You can go for a swim. You can do anything. So, I mean, I don't look at fitness as self-care. I look at fitness as just something that I do because it's a habit and that I want to respect my body. And it's just taking care of yourself like you brush your teeth. That's not self-care, but you certainly do it every day.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So I think we have to change the way we look at fitness. It's not something that we're adding to your plate and it's going to top your scale over and you're going to lose your mind. It's going to relieve a lot of stress and then you're going to feel better. And if you need to look at it as self-care, okay, but self-care can be other things. It's way more glamorous than sweating on a treadmill.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that. It should be, we want it to be just a part of our life and not just another chore to check off the list. And because what I've been thinking about this idea is that it's like when you focus on it as something that's like, I exercise because I want to lose weight and I want to like whatever. Well, then it becomes about this weight loss that you beat yourself up about every day. And I think that that's one of those things that becomes a deterrent for exercise, because then you're not seeing the changes that you expect to happen. And so then it becomes a chore. But I think that when you let go of that expectation, and I mean, weight loss is challenging for different reasons for different people. I mean, it's not just about overeating. It's not just about whether you exercise enough. There are other aspects like emotional eating or special diets if you have health issues and things like that. And sometimes people have health issues that they don't know about, that it's like, seek professional help.
Totally.
Don't just, my body just disagrees with me. Anyways, but I like this concept that I've been thinking about lately, that it's like, let go of that expectation and just learn how to enjoy the process. Enjoy that this is a habit that you can develop just for the sake of developing the habit and taking care of who you are.
Yeah, I think it's like, I obviously work with thousands of women. And so it's so interesting to me, their focus on weight is so ingrained. I mean, it was for my mom too. I'm breaking that cycle for my daughter, but they get so focused on weight. And so all our programs with a Hot Mama, it's not about weight. It's how much energy you have at the end of the day. How are you sleeping? How are you feeling? How are you feeling in your skin? Because so many times we'll go through a program with them and we'll talk and I'll be like, all right, how are you feeling? And they'll be like, I feel so much better and my skin is better and I have more energy and I'm sleeping. It's so amazing. And then I'll know the instant they step on a scale, because they'll come back the next week and they will be absolutely deflated. And I will say, you stepped on a scale. And they'll say, yeah. And how deflating. What's the point where 10 seconds before you stepped on that stupid scale, you were feeling amazing and energized and best you felt in years. And then all of a sudden, this little thing gives the power to take it away. It boggles my mind. And that is the fitness industry, though. That is the industry that I'm battling against. And I wish women could use and look at fitness as this way to love yourself and to have more energy and to be kind to themselves and to show gratitude for their body. There's so much power that we can have in ourselves if we just get off that stupid scale and stop trying to be that person that the media is telling us that we need to be. It's just ridiculous to me. So I will battle.
Yeah. Well, the media is that's everywhere. It's so, it just pounds into our brains. And something that I've been thinking a lot about lately is what judgments are we creating about appearance? That we're being told that it's about, that our bodies are ornaments, that our bodies are decoration, that our bodies are all about aesthetics and things, when there's so many other aspects. Like you said, your skin clears up, you feel energy, you get better sleep. There's so many other reasons and ways we can appreciate our bodies besides all the other skills and talents and interests and capacity that we have. That what judgments are we creating, or limiting beliefs that we have about our bodies and about our appearance that is creating just unhappiness in our lives.
Absolutely.
That's so discouraging whenever, it's like whenever I exercise, I feel so much better. I feel so much better about myself. Even if nothing has changed about my weight or anything, I feel so much better about myself. You just have more confidence, and it feels so good to just exercise. And I think what's so important about that is that it really translates to our kids when they see us being happy. And so important. And it also translates to them that we are so unhappy when we get on the scale. And
yes, absolutely.
And then they go, oh, that must be important.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, it's not. True. It's not
as important. You need to be active for the sake of your energy and your happiness and the habits that you can create. Those habits are really what's important to be consistent. It's about that consistency.
Yeah. And like your own, physical and mental health as well. Yeah. Like that's why we exercise, there's tons of reasons in it, but one of the reasons shouldn't be to lose weight. And one of the reasons shouldn't be to look like the magazine. There's 800 other reasons that you can, be physically active, and focus on those, not on the other ones.
Yeah. Like don't get held up just because of, you just let it go.
Totally. Yeah.
So I've been referring to this a lot in my social media posts or blog posts. And it's this quote by Henry David Thoreau that was, happiness is like a butterfly. When you chase it, it will elude you. But when you get distracted with other things, it will come and sit softly on your shoulder. And so I think that health and fitness is that way, that if you're just doing the things that keep you going, and you really, the happiness comes. And if weight loss or health is what you want, then that may come too. You just have to focus on, or not focus on, focused on the expectation of the weight loss or whatever.
I think you just find a reason to, if your reason to get active is just, for more energy, just focus on that. And then, there's all the positive things that happen when you're physically active, the endorphin release and the hormonal changes and all that stuff that physiologically will make you feel better. So if you're, chasing happiness, then just go and sweat, and it will seriously come to you. You will not get off a workout and be in a worse mood than when you were when you started. It's not, unless somebody really makes you mad at the gym, and that's another story. Right. But it's very rare that you finish a workout and you're like, well, that was a complete waste of time.
Right. Nobody thinks that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So how do you see your habits and beliefs about health and fitness influencing your children?
Oh gosh. Well, my son suffers from some pretty severe anxiety. So he was diagnosed in grade 2 with an anxiety disorder, and we've dealt with that. And he has panic attacks, and all like full on heartbreaking panic attacks. But he has seen me be active since day one, and he has seen me say to him, "I'm having a bad day. I'm just going to go out to the garage and get on the treadmill." And so that is conversations that happen in our house. And so he's been a nervous little boy since the day he was born. Like he had colic, and didn't like getting his hands dirty, and so he's always been this very nervous kid. And so when he was 3, I was working, and he came up to me and he was like, "Mommy, I am stressed out." And he was having a bad day. So it was just funny to hear a kid say they're stressed out. I don't know if he knew what he's talking about. He was having a bad day. And he's like, "I better get on the treadmill." And so we went out to the gym, and he walked his little legs on the treadmill, and he was like, "Oh, I feel so much better." So that's the conversations we have. And now with his anxiety and his worry and all that he has, he knows that if he feels that coming on, to move his body and get active is the best thing for him. So he'll grab his hockey stick and he'll go to the nets, or he'll say, "Mommy, can we go for a run around the block?" And it's the tiniest run. It's like a 4-minute run, but it helps him get out of that. So that helps. So for him, it's, physical activity is a part of his life, and it helps him battle his mental illness, which is wicked. And I'm so proud that he does that. Now, my daughter, she is 7 going on 21, and she's crazy. She is a gong show, and she creates workouts. She has to be in the fitness videos. She's created her own exercises. She loves being active. She makes her friends do boot camps when she comes over. Like, that's their play. Their play is physical activity. Their play is creating new boot camps. So that is their life. And it boggles their mind that when they go to somebody else's house, they don't know how to play in a physical way. They know how to play video games, or they know how to sit quietly and color. But for them to introduce, really active play for their friends is they're like, "So strange, Mom." And I'm like, well, a lot of people, it's not their lives. And it's so foreign to them. So it blows their mind every time. And I love that. I'm like, all right, you guys keep doing that. So, our conversations are always about how are we going to move our body today? And I think we've sat long enough. You guys need to get active and get moving. And sometimes when they're glum, they'll just say, like, "Let's go for a hike." And so they use fitness as a way to, self-medicate, to be honest. They make themselves feel better. And how awesome is that? So those are our conversations. So being a fit family and a fit mom is the best thing I could have ever done for them.
I love that so much. So my kids and I, we like to listen to this program called Bright Music. It's called the Safety Kids class. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
There's this one, so there's 3 segments, and one of them is about substance abuse and just talking about with your kids, and this with songs and stuff. And this one, the song that goes, "Go for a natural high, 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 high." And it's really cute because it's go for a run, go shoot a basketball, do sing or dance, do for different things. And I love that you really can use your physical activity to feel better when you feel gloomy and stuff. I love that.
Yeah, it's insane. Like kids have hard days, and they get in grumpy moods, and I get in grumpy moods. So who am I to say you can't feel like that? And so if they come home and they've had a hard friend day, or things didn't go quite right, my kids are only 7 and 9. So we're just getting into the kind of difficult social time. And the fact that they come home and they say, "I had a bad day," and I'll say, "Well, do you want to just go for a walk? That's going to make us feel better." And they're like, "Yeah, for sure. That's absolutely what we need to do." So it's not going up into their room and sitting by themselves and lamenting about how hard childhood is. It's getting out and to be honest, after a 20-minute walk with them, they forgot about what the heck was bugging them, and they feel so much better. And we talk, and it's a great way to just be with your kids and really learn about what their days were. They got that look on their face, and they can either shut you out, or you can pull them out through physical activity, and they're going to start talking. It's very rare that your child is going to walk next to you and not start talking.
I love that. That has a dual purpose because they get the activity and they get the connection, one-on-one connection with you. Because you can't sit here and look at your device while you're walking, and you can't, whatever. They get that undivided attention.
Yeah, and nor would you want to. That's awesome. I love being with them. So
yeah, that's awesome. And I think it's so interesting too that when you talked about they would go to friends' houses and the kids don't know how to do the physical play. And sometimes I think we think, well, play is so natural to kids. That's what they do. But more and more, it's not, because they don't get to, there's this fear of sending our kids outside anymore, or, and there's a culture among kids in general that if you don't know about the latest video game or something, then who are you? What you're missing out and things. And so, you really do have to be deliberate about encouraging this kind of activity and play and setting boundaries on screen time and devices and things like that, because and at first it's kind of painful, because
it really is.
They're going to kick and scream and they're going to go, no, I don't want to turn it off. But once they turn it off, in fact, just today, so I'm preparing to go on a trip. And so I'm like, okay, you guys can watch whatever you want right now because I'm trying to clean up. But then it was like, it's so beautiful outside today. And so I came downstairs. I'm like, okay, kids, let's turn it off. Let's all go outside. And my son screamed, no, I want to keep watching. And then I was like, no, you're going to go outside. It's so nice outside. I don't care what you do. Just let's go outside. And after about a half an hour or 45 minutes of that, I said, okay, I need to come in because I have an interview, so I need you guys to come in. And my son, no! It's so funny. It was like, okay.
That's so good.
It seems at first like it was such a chore to say, turn off the TV. But then it paid off, it was so beneficial. And so it's so important to be deliberate.
Yeah. And at our house, they can't go on electronics till a certain time. So they'll come home from school, and typically, from what I know from other kids, is they'll come home from school and they'll get like right on their electronics. Well, for us, they come home from school, they're not allowed on their electronics until 5 p.m. And that's while I'm getting dinner ready. And so they know if their friends are coming over. And sometimes I feel bad because their friends will come over and I know they just want to play video games. And I'm like, no, our rule at our house is that that's not what you do. Yeah. And so they've lost a few play dates because we are like the non-electronic house. And so sometimes I feel bad because I'm like, oh gosh, am I wrecking their socials? And then I think, no, I'm doing right. I'm fine. It's okay.
Well, the friends that are valuable friends, will be attracted to them, really, really valuable friends, because they'll know, oh, we can go over there and have fun, not just staring at the screen together.
Yeah, like let's actually play together, communicate with one another, and holy smokes, let's talk. What an idea.
Let's get out board games and cards and
totally, yeah,
and do stuff if they, as they get older, that you don't have to just sit around the TV and the computer. That's a real thing too. So I love it.
Great.
So what else do you do to encourage a healthy body image for your kids?
Oh, for my kids. So I don't talk about my body, to be honest. That's really what it is. I don't ever, we don't use the word fat in our house. To describe anybody, but we don't talk about our body. I don't ever stand in front of a mirror and suck in. I mean, I do if she's not around, because I am female and it's obviously ingrained in me a little bit, but around her, I try clothes on. And if I say anything and I notice that she's watching me, I'll be like, gosh, I look strong today, or holy smokes, I feel really great today. Even if I just feel super bloated and it's like PMSy, I'll be like, whoa, I am so healthy. And so that's the conversation. And so it's incredible because she does the same. She'll look in the mirror and she'll be like, oh, I'm so strong today. I'm like, yeah, you are. And we do have a scale in our house. And because I just can't seem to get rid of it. So I don't go on it very often, but it is a toy for the kids. And the best thing is that she'll get, and I talk about my daughter a lot because kind of typically it's more a female thing that has the body image issues. Granted, a lot of men do too, but so she'll get on the scale and she'll look at the numbers. And we have always said when she gets on a scale, we'll look at the numbers and I'll be like, oh, you are growing. You are so healthy. That's amazing. And so when she sees the numbers go up, she's like, yes, this is great. I'm so strong and healthy. And I'm like, you are so strong and healthy. And for them, it's a toy and it's, and that, but it's never anything where I'm begrudging my body, or I never ever put my body down in front of her. So that's, I think the point is, it's not a lot of conversations about our body. It's all right, let's get on with our day. And this is what we look like today. So off we go. And so I think that's the key. Because if we're constantly like, oh, I look so slim in this, or I look so whatever in this, well, you're still looking.
It becomes about the appearance.
Yeah, so about what you're looking. Yeah. So that's how, I mean, and she's constantly about, I have so much energy today. I just feel so amazing today. I'm just going to drop and do some push-ups here. Like she's very random, but it's who she is. That's all her life is physical.
I love that. I love it. That's a tough one, because I do the same. I kind of struggle with my weight just because I still lose some baby weight, even though my baby's almost 3, but you can hang on. I didn't lose it between the two. They're 18 months apart. And anyways, my daughter now that's 8, like I just had the baby and we were cuddling in bed and she saw my tummy and she goes, Mom, your belly kind of looks like dough. And I was like, yeah, it kind of does, huh? I didn't say whether that was bad or good. I was just kind of like, yeah, well, I just had a baby. And so it takes a little while to go back.
Yeah.
Whatever. And it still hasn't, but it's just like, that's just my body. And the point of exercise is just, I don't want to be like, well, I want to change this. I just say, I want to be healthy. And that those little jiggly things about my body, I'm just like, you know what? That's okay. It's just part of my body. And
we all jiggle.
What we do as people.
Yeah. We all jiggle. We all wiggle. We all move. We're supposed to. Who cares?
that experience, I will never forget it though. I was just like, I bet. Oh dear.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you are very observant. You are correct.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you just had a baby, for goodness sake. We're always so hard on ourselves, right?
It's such a, you gotta I just look at it and go, you know what a powerful ability to have a baby, like to create a person inside my body. And it's just, that's amazing. And that's what I wanted my daughter to understand too, is that it's like, this is a beautiful process. And if, I got to sacrifice a little bit on the body side, but
you think like you just grew a baby. That's what boggles my mind, is that you just had a miracle, like grow in your body. Your body just did that. Now you're going to birth this baby, and then you're going to get pissed off and angry at your body because it didn't bounce back and it's a little stretch. You're going to get mad at your body that just built this baby. Like it boggles my mind that that's the thought process.
Our bodies are so strong and powerful. And that's the message that I want my kids to know, is that look at what your body can do. Look what you can climb and run, and you can jump and play, and you can color, and you can make music, and you can dance. And there's so many beautiful, wonderful things that our bodies can do. And to focus on just the aesthetic aspect it's you're limiting. You are selling yourself short.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Our bodies are incredible. People should just take a moment and appreciate everything. We're sitting here, and while we're sitting here, you're breathing, your heart is beating, your blood pressure is stable, your brain is firing. Like, that's such an incredible thing your body does for you all day, 24/7. And we're going to talk smack about it and put it down? No, we're not. No. Stop it. Yeah.
So I really appreciate what you have been, these lines and phrases that you say to your kids. I love it. Like, that's so awesome. Let's conclude a little by telling us, what are your favorite books that you recommend to parents, first of all?
Sure. So I don't read a lot of fitness books. So if you're looking for fitness recommendations, it's not this, because fitness books drive me batty. But there are a few. So I'm an entrepreneur, obviously, with Hot Mama. So there are a few that I really, really love. The first is this book called Deep Work, and it's by Cal Newport. I don't know if you know that. I'll show it to you. Mm-hmm. It's called Deep Work, and it's about turning off your electronics and having like 2 hours of dedicated time to just working on your business, or maybe planning your family life or whatever, but turning all electronics off. There's no notifications, there's no texting, there's no messaging. It's like 2 hours of what they call deep work. And it's incredible. And it can change the way that your house is run. You can change the way that you run your business. So that is the first one that I'd recommend.
Love it.
And then this one, it's called You Are a Badass. And I think it is wonderful. And it's how to stop doubting your greatness and start living an awesome life. Mm-hmm. So it's really just about, channeling your badassery and really figuring out what can make you golden and incredible. So that is the other one. And then the last one that I like, it's called 3 Feet from Gold. And it is about not giving up. So it is about keeping going and driving and digging and pushing. And that so many times you quit just before you're about to strike gold. And if you would have just pushed and driven and dug just a little bit more, then you would have got where you want to. So the whole thing is to just keep going and follow.
Is that Napoleon Hill?
It is from Think and Grow Rich. So it's from the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and it's with Greg Reed and Sharon. I don't know if it's Lecter is how you say her last name. Lechter are the authors of that one.
I love those recommendations because I think they do totally apply to your goals, whether they be family or health or fitness or whatever, your business, whatever it is. So I love those recommendations. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome.
So tell us, Lindsay, where we can find you. Tell us more about this, just, what this podcast that you have.
Sure. So you can find me in many places. So you can find more about Hot Mama at hotmamafit.com. You can find me. I have my own personal blog at lindsays.ca. So you can find the podcast called Dig Deep with Dr. Lindsay G. And those are workouts. And you plug me in, you hit play, and I tell you what exercises to do. There's music, and I talk you through and motivate you through an entire workout. So most of the workouts are under 30 minutes. So you just plug me in and I lead you through a whole workout. So that's Dig Deep with Dr. Lindsay G. That's my podcast.
I love that.
Thank you.
So awesome.
It's pretty fun.
Cool. Well, yeah. I acknowledge everything is so awesome that you do, Lindsay. I really appreciate the things that you've said, the phrases that we can say to our kids, and the attitudes and the mindset that we can work on to just be more happy.
Yeah, good.
Really. So share one final tidbit that you would like to share for our listeners.
I think it's just get out and get active. My challenge is for you to get active at least 60 minutes a day, 7 days a week. So that's the challenge. And it doesn't have to be all at once. It can be cumulative. So that's what I would challenge you all with. And I wish you would change the framework of fitness for yourselves and look at it as energy and health and taking care of you instead of adding to your to-do list.
Thank you so much, Lindsay.
You're welcome.
Awesome. I really enjoyed talking to Lindsay about this. Exercise is so important. It really does brighten your day and shape your whole perspective and outlook about life. It's something that I'm trying to work on and something that's so important. So I'm really grateful for Lindsay and her work and her advice and her insights on this episode. You can find the show notes for this episode at homeandfamilyculture.com, and you can find the link to all the books that I recommend for each episode at homeandfamilyculture.com/books. And it'll take you to my book list there. You can find me on Facebook at Family Culture Podcast, and also at Instagram and Pinterest at Family Culture Podcast, and on Twitter at _Family Culture. Please like and rate and share and listen on your favorite podcasting app. And share. Please share. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for listening.